Shang Simla, China is home to people who value discipline, peace, and clarity of mind over all else. While there, adventurers are encouraged to visit the academy to learn the martial arts skill, and then to the Scholar's Garden for an introspective meditation. If you're lucky, you may even catch one of Shang Simla's most famous fireworks shows. What's up guys, Rakowski here, and today we are judging and rating all of the builds in Shang Simla. Before we get started, if you enjoy Sims content that praises and criticizes the accomplishments and details of the older Sims games, then please don't forget to like this video and subscribe if you'd like to see more. You guys are the best. Thank you so much. Also, if you want to choose which world we review next, then head down to my community tab where you can vote. The polls are getting closer and closer, so every vote counts. Okay, with that out of the way, let's get into the video. 你好，欢迎来到中国. Or as we say in English, welcome to China. So I use air quotes only because we've noticed in my Discord that when you go to load China, they actually use a Japanese symbol. That in conjunction with the fact that this world was made by a bunch of people living in California, I'm guessing we're gonna have a few Chinese inaccuracies. But that stuff is gonna be really hard for me to spot because of course I am just as familiar with Chinese architecture as probably the average EA developer. So if you are from Asia or are very familiar with Asian architecture, please let me know in the comments down below if you see something that isn't exactly Chinese and would probably belong better in a different country. But that being said, I see lots of pagoda roofs. I'm kind of excited to get started because this is the last World Adventures world and this is definitely the one I have the least experience with. I think I've been here one time just because my sim wanted to be a martial artist or something. But anyway, I see lots of interesting choices, lots of interesting roofs, so I'm excited to jump in. So let's get started. First up is the Bamboo House. So unfortunately, we are starting with a little bit of a stereotypical name, but I guess we can look past it for now till we see what comes next. But looking around, what I really like is the build by. I really like the options that we have. I like these windows. Ooh, I even like these archways underneath here. I like these little windows as well. And the pagoda roof, I think this one is way too tall, but I'm looking kind of like in the background. I see other houses that maybe use it a little bit more sensibly, but I'm really happy that you can use pagoda roofs in The Sims 3, and I thought that they would be horribly ugly. They're hard to even to get nice in The Sims 4, so I didn't really have high expectations. But this isn't too bad, and it's in classic EA style with the tall roof and everything, right? Okay, looking around, the shape is kind of basic. I don't really have any comments on that. I don't know too much about the architecture, so let's jump inside and see what we get. I am at no surprise that green is the main color on the first floor. Going in here, we have a green kitchen, but the good news is that we have a kitchen sink and a garbage can. I don't think any EA kitchens in the World Adventures pack have done that yet. Ooh, I like the little detail of like the little plaque up top. I can't read those symbols. I can read some Chinese symbols, but definitely not all of them. So I'm only gonna comment when I actually know what's going on. The dining room is empty as usual. The bathroom has like white plumbing, but this ugly brown tile. This is one of the default swatches, and I think it's one of the worst ones. Going in here, we have a classic EA diagonal living room for no reason. The coffee table is way off to the side to try and fill up the space. To be fair, I did kind of suggest that before. This cornered reading area though, it's so ugly. One of these bookshelves should be like a table or something, and it should be spaced out a little bit more. It's just a little bit unsettling. Going upstairs, the first thing I see is this hideous green bedroom. My goodness, look at this. This is like arsenic green to the max. I only use this wallpaper when doing historical Victorian builds, but I do like the pink bed. I think it's a really nice shade of pink. I don't think it goes well with the green, but it would have went well in this room, for example. Now, what the hell is this texture on the dresser? I have no idea what's going on. And then of course, the only other thing is an ugly bed. The ensuite bathroom is just as ugly. Oh God, it has a gold toilet. I spoke too soon. I missed the white one. And then we have a Merry Christmas bedroom with a deep red that is not really the Chinese red, and then a green that is more reminiscent of Jade. I guess Jade is kind of Chinese. I don't know. Sometimes I see restaurants called the Jade Dragon and stuff. But then again, that just might be like the Western twist, right? Where we'd actually have no idea what's going on. Speaking of having no idea what's going on, I really don't know where I stand with this house. I don't really like any of the inside choices. I guess the architecture is fine. This is probably better than what I would have been able to do, but this really does scream temple to me. Like, it doesn't really scream house. I can see, and it's not because of the roof. Actually, it is because of the roof, because the roof is too tall. For the houses behind where the roof is smaller, it does look more like a family house. And I'm not exactly sure which style of pagoda roofs are like Chinese and Japanese, but I do know that these look exactly like the ones in Mount Komorebi. So I'm not sure. It's kind of ambitious, but I think it missed a lot of the mark marks. I don't know. The outside's better than the inside. I'm gonna give it a 5. A 5, my goodness. But there are a lot of details that I think they could use really well. I really like the wood carving here. I like the windows, and the roof has potential. So let's see what happens. Next up is the Citron House. So my first thing I notice is that this window is just off center by one tile, a typical Sims 3 disaster. But looking around, the shell is much more dynamic. I really like the roofing on this one. I like how it separates out into 2 different buildings with like this little like hall courtyard area. It's very nice and different. I like the gates. I like the windows more at the back actually. They're centered, they're smaller, and even on the inside, oh, here it's not centered, but the front is kind of like the worst part, and that's kind of the part you should spend the most time decorating in my opinion, especially for a World Adventures world, because like a lot of these houses we're just going to drive past and see, actually, you know what, this isn't even really on a road, just on a little path here. But irregardless, let's just jump inside and see what they did. Okay, so the first thing I see is the 2 bathrooms. They're neither here nor there. Personally, I don't see very much decoration. Going into the living area, ooh, instead of a TV, they have 3 flower pots. Honestly, I'll take anything different at this point. Oh, I can see the windows at the back are not centered either. Why is everything 1 tile off? If you added 1 more window, it would just balance so much better. Going over here, the kitchen is all right. They love this little garbage can. I know I was asking for garbage cans in the last episode, but still, I would like more of like a kitchen garbage can. This is the kind of garbage can that I have in my bathroom or by my desk. The wallpaper isn't hideous. I don't mind it for China, really. It's kind of decorative and floral and a little bit more whimsical, so it's all right. Ooh, they went for patterns in here. Look at this 70s pattern. They put it on the wall and on the bed. I don't really like that. Oh my God, it's on the chair too, and they copied the wood for the dresser. So this is something I actually do. I copy my wood so everything matches, but not the fabric. You would never find a fabric that was the same for your wallpaper, for your bed, and for your chair. Going in here, they did the exact same thing. The green is just copied everywhere, as is the pattern and texture. Oh God, there's another bathroom back here. It's just as basic, but at least they have a shower. Okay, let's go upstairs. Upstairs, we were off to a good start. I really like the red lights. I like the black floor. I even like the red and the houndstooth on the bed, but not this baby poo wood. Why would you use that? Oh my God, are they trying to match it with this trim up here? Oh, I don't know. It just misses the mark. It doesn't work for me. Again, looking back outside, my goodness, look at these tall pagoda roofs. See, you cannot copy a wallpaper like this to taller roofs because it'll repeat like that, and that's not realistic. Like the top should just be like a solid color. I would just copy this beige maybe. Oh, and they do it over here too. Okay, let's just jump back out to the outside because I think the shell is actually quite strong. I mean, for an EA build that has horrible windows and tall roofs, they did a really good job making it dynamic. I like the shape and the structure and how it's broken up, but the inside is mostly tragic and weak, maybe with a couple other choices. I don't know. Do I like this house more or less than the last one? It's kind of hard to find like the average, but again, I'm looking kind of in the background and I'm seeing other houses that I enjoy a lot more. So I'm not going to give too many points to houses that like I'm kind of getting at the beginning if they're not blowing my mind. So you know what? I'm going to give this one a 5 as well. I wasn't expecting a lot of cultural accuracy when it came to these builds, but I was expecting a little bit of cohesion and a little bit of prettiness, and so far we haven't gotten that. So let's see what we get next. Next up is the green Fern house. Okay, so already I'm liking this one a little bit better. I really like the fencing and the landscaping. I love the little pond in the front, and I like how they broke up the shell with this little diagonal bit. I don't usually do this because I usually find it ruins my builds, but for this it adds a little bit of a dynamic twist. This roof is a little too big, but this roof is all right, so they're getting a little bit better as we move through. Ooh, this one has like a little balcony too. This is kind of cute. I like the little plants here. I like the seating area. But once again, we are in typical EA style where the windows are almost center, but not quite, right? Like they're 1 tile off here, they're 2 tiles off here. This one's in the middle at least. Okay, let's just jump inside and see if the inside is any better. Okay, so we have the weakest kitchen so far. I see the floral bathroom sink used as a kitchen sink. I see a fridge and a stove. Oh, thank God, a kitchen garbage can for once. Okay, let's continue. What is this dining room? Single chair by itself? I don't know. The mirror is a nice touch, I guess. Then we have the world's emptiest hallway, even emptier than the France build sometimes. My goodness, going over here, we have a little seating area. No source of entertainment, no bookshelf, no television. Oh, never mind. The bookshelf is just like a million feet away. It doesn't even have any books on it. My goodness. Okay, let's go upstairs. Nicest bathroom I've seen yet. And it's actually not that like exciting. These are just like like the base swatches and a nice little stone and white bathroom. So it's right up my alley, but it's not particularly nice. The bedroom too, it's a little disappointing. I like the bed. I like the textures that they used for the bed. This comforter is not my style, but it could be like for like an old lady, but an old lady doesn't live here. It's some like single guy. So like the single chair makes sense, but the bed doesn't. I don't know. Once again, I'm most kind of blown away by the objects. Like I really like these lamps that they've included. Those are probably part of the pack. I like these plants. I like the windows, the fencing, but the way that they've used them is a little bit uninspiring. Now that being said, this shell is definitely stronger than the other two, so I'm gonna give it a little bit of credit for that. And it did have the best bathroom, but worst kitchen. See, like I'm getting put into these positions where they're just messing up different things. This has happened to us in other worlds too, but this is slightly better than the last few houses. I'm gonna give it a 6. To a Shang Simla 6, my goodness. But we are just talking about the builds, and this world is pretty nice. Like look at all these hills. This is kind of hard to do. And if I look over here, there's the little dragon cave too. So there's lots of great details in this world, even if it isn't the build. So let's see what else we get. Next up is the Hydrangea House. Okay, just double checking. I think this window is center, but this one isn't. So I guess 1 out of 2 ain't bad. Going around, oh, finally they use bamboo trees. I never like using the bamboo trees, but of course in China, it makes a little bit more sense. I love these like little statues at the front. They just give it that extra little twist. And this has a similar structure to the other house I kind of enjoyed, where it's like 2 separate houses connected by a courtyard. My goodness, look at all these windows. They tried to hide it with a tree like always, but I see it. See, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 windows on the side. My goodness, go EA. Oh, looking around at the back, they do another horribly uncentered window. My goodness. Okay, so they're not great at these like centering of all these things that we use. Oh God, the one at the back here isn't centered either. Okay, I know this is not about centered windows. I'm just trying to look for things that I'm used to looking for. These roofs, again, are still too tall for my taste, too tall for my liking. I think it's a little bit too much. I'm really looking forward to getting to the houses that have lower roofs. Oh my God. Okay, let's jump inside. Okay, from a bird's eye view, this already looks better than anything we've seen. I love the central courtyard. I like that it doesn't have anything in it because the house is so full. I like this living room. Oh my God, the wallpaper is dragons and stuff. That's actually kind of cool. I don't mind that. I like the red couch. They actually have something to do, a TV. Is this an incense burner? My goodness, I love the items. Oh, an orchid. I love orchids. The dining table is a little too white for my taste in this house. Oh, they have like a separate sink here. Okay, so even though this is technically a bathroom sink, there might be like separate sinks in Chinese architecture that I'm not familiar with. So I'm gonna give it the benefit of the doubt. Smoke detector, garbage can, they have everything that they need. Okay, let's go over to this side. Now, tragically, it would not be an EA build without green bathrooms. So looking in here, we have green walls. Looking in here, we have green floors. Actually, this has like baby poo floors. Okay, looking at this bedroom, I like the blue floor. The carpet is nice. I don't know about the furniture colors. The door color kind of goes with the bed, but I don't like how the rest of the furniture goes with it. I would have picked one or the other. Ooh, they have a wallpaper with fans. I guess that's a little bit Chinese. See, again, like, I mean, I assume it's Chinese because of like what I've seen in Hollywood movies and such. And that's probably what people in California designing The Sims 3 have as well, right? Oh, wow, a guitar. I think that's our first skill building thing that we've actually had in the whole builds. Okay. Let's see. What I really like about this build is the cohesion. Like the blues and the greens and the grays, they all kind of go together with little pop-outs of red and brown. So it's quite cohesive compared to the rest of the builds that we've seen so far, but it's still nothing compared to some of the other worlds. Coming back outside, I think the build is actually pretty nice and balanced as well. It has like the 2 separate sections. One roof is different than the other slightly, so it gives it a little bit more of a dynamic feel. The inside is cohesive. There's a lot of weird choices that I don't really understand, but there's a lot of choices that I do get, and that's the first time this has happened. I'm gonna give this house a 7. Oh, I can't believe I gave this a 7. The bar is kind of low with Shang Simla, and I'm sure I'm missing some details that are not exactly Chinese, but I'll leave that up to you guys, because like I said, I'm no expert. I'm just kind of blown away by their use of color, so let's keep going. Next up is the Jade House. Jade, okay, so I guess it is Chinese, at least according to EA. Okay, let's just look around at this. I like this shape. I like how it's 2 separate builds. They're a nice size. It almost looks like 2 Simsy sized houses, you know? This looks like the kind of house that she'd try to smush in like 6 or 8 Sims, if you know what I mean. The windows are a little bit all over the place, but it is kind of weirdly balanced. Sometimes you don't need symmetry to make balance. You just need to play with golden ratios and whatever. This isn't quite golden ratio, but I think I know what they were trying to go for. This one window though, it just kind of ruins everything. At least it's at the back, like, because when you have an even number of tiles, you're never going to get a single window or door centered. So you got to think about things like that beforehand. Although I think they could have just added a second window, but whatever. Actually, if you look at it, I think both of these shapes are exactly the same size. So it'll be interesting to see how they lay it out. I really like the landscaping. Terrain paint is always my friend. I like the bushes and the tree. It looks a little bit haphazard and overgrown, which is not a bad thing. Like, not everyone has perfectly maintained gardens. Okay, let's jump inside. Ooh, we are greeted by white tile, my absolute favorite. Now, going over here into the kitchen, I see a bathroom sink hiding here, EA. I caught it though. Once again, the smallest garbage can, the dining room. Why do they have the chairs off to one side for the dining tables? I don't get it. Once again, the world's emptiest bookshelf going into this bathroom. I actually like this tile and stuff. I just typically use it for mansions. I don't think it really goes with this kind of house, but at least I get the colors that I like. This is kind of big for a half bathroom as well. On this side, we have basically the same bathroom, just with a shower put into it. The living, oh, this is a bedroom and it's got blue and green together. Not really my favorites. This wallpaper doesn't really go with anything either. Why are there plants behind this? How hard would this be to water? My goodness, this guy's old. Like, I know he's a martial artist, but I don't want him having to lean back with a heavy can of water. And in The Sims 3, it wouldn't even work. Okay, let's go upstairs. Green living room, my favorite. Okay, this is a little weird. I like how they use just one coffee table though. Usually in EA builds, they usually like put 4 of these next to each other. Yeah, the green is too much in an empty desk. What's on this side? Once again, we have EA's favorite thing of matching the wallpaper with the bedding, which is a very peculiar choice. They usually do this like once or twice per world and just try to sneak it in. This world, they're just doing it all over the place. It's kind of like their default style. But there is a toy box. This is a child's bedroom. This is not very child, if I'm honest. There's a toy box here. Is this supposed to be a child's room? Really? I'm not really getting that vibe. I would never have candle sconces in a child's room because, you know, like children are just accidents waiting to happen. Actually, most kids are just accidents in general. Okay, let's just go down to the outside again. I really like the shell. The inside again, though, very disappointing. And I don't like to take away points just because things are not my style, but they really don't seem to be going for any sort of aesthetic or style that I can see. Once again, I feel like this is just one of the builds that they were in a rush. They just had to get some of these done. But again, they did all right with the shell and the architecture. It's really weird because most simmers are like really good at decorating the insides of builds, and it's the outside that gets a little shoddy. EA is kind of the opposite. They do these nice dynamic shapes, and then inside it just looks like empty Sunset Valley. But I mean, it's not awful. I like some parts of it. I don't know. I'm gonna give this one a 6. Another kind of mediocre score. I'm sorry it's not so exciting yet, but like I said, I keep seeing things in the background and I'm really looking forward to a few of them. So let's keep going. Next up is the Laurel House. This is what I'm talking about. Look at this. They use all the details that I've been loving. I love these windows. There's actually these new windows I haven't really noticed yet. Really well done. But it has all the windows and the arches that I liked before. It has the shorter roof. It has the 2 separate buildings. So we're off to a really good start. I also really like the color palette. I think the black goes really well. The off-centered window and decorations here. But that's besides the point. Some of it is balanced. The courtyard is much prettier. They have these nice little, like, I don't know what these are. They're like little torch stands or lamps, or like they almost look like little barbecues. I'm not really sure, but I do like them, and I like the little rocks and the bushes around. This side has no windows instead of 12. That's actually kind of better. And I like this tree choice too. Very well done. This is by far my favorite shell. I'm excited. I hope they don't screw up the inside. So let's take a look. Okay, the first thing I notice is green and yellow everywhere. So let's pick this apart one by one. The entryway is kind of nice. It kind of goes really well with the outside here. It goes with like the same black and white and kind of grayscale color palette with little hints of color, right? The carpet is kind of ugly here, but the stairs are all right. The bathroom has bushes clipping into it. The toilet and sink are yellow. Ooh, so is the bathtub. Not really my favorite. But again, they don't like putting a lot of lights in these builds, and thank goodness, because this hideous green bedroom is matched by its own twin. It's just like a smaller bed. So we all know how I feel about green, right? Especially that shade of green for a bedroom. I don't know. Yet another bathroom sink in the kitchen. Well done, EA. They love these candle wall sconces. Oh, the fridge and the stove are next to each other. Why are there so many of my pet peeves in this house? I was liking it. The dining set is actually really nice. I just don't think it really goes with this build. The wallpaper just randomly changes for the dining room, and it's not better. I would have just kept it the same. The yellow living room is ugly. Why is the wood just like one swatch of yellow? Like, as you can see, like 3 of the 4 are gray, and then 1 is randomly yellow. Maybe it's like a tile style or something that I'm not really familiar with that they're trying to replicate. I don't know. Somebody let me know if that's the case. But yeah, like whether I zoom out or zoom in, it's It's not really my favorite. The floor plan is good though. I don't think any Sims are gonna get stuck. It's like a perfect square so you can kind of get around. There's arches to kind of move around the space, so that's all right. The courtyard could use another set of stairs though. I would like maybe one or two kind of on the sides here so you can go down without having to loop around, but that's like a little bit of a picky point. Coming back outside again, I really like this. It's my absolute favorite shell. This is by far the prettiest thing I've seen, even if the inside is ugly. But I don't really know what else to say. I will say that this is the first thing that actually kind of got me at least a little excited to see the inside, so we have to give it some credit. I'm gonna give this one a 7. With such ugly green rooms, this still got a 7, and the worst part is that these arches here, like you can see right inside too, my goodness. Next up is the Lilac House. I actually really like this one too. I think this one probably does like the best kind of balconies and archways where they separate the two builds. I love the central courtyard. I think the landscaping is exquisite. I love the statues. I love the overhang on the upper floors. I love the centralized windows. This whole thing is pretty symmetrical. The side is a little few too many windows, but it's EA. What can we expect? I did not expect them to be symmetrical on both sides. Well done. It's only the sides where they kind of haphazardly place them. And the sides that are on the inside of the courtyard, they do the windows a lot better. This is a lot better than say on the outside. But yeah, overall, so far so good. I'm not too disappointed, and the sun's kind of hitting it pretty, so that always helps. Okay, let's jump inside. More green. Is green like super popular in China? I'm not sure. It's super popular in Sunset Valley. Bathroom sink in the kitchen. Why is there a plant hanging this close to the wall? You should have it like in the middle. I guess the light's in the middle, but whatever. Speaking of light, this house actually has enough lights. It has a few random things though. Like I always say, please decorate the dining room. I don't mean with one mirror and one plant like 8 tiles away, whatever. Through the beautiful courtyard, we have an ugly green living room and an ugly green office. Oh, and an ugly green bathroom with baby poo walls. My goodness, I was not expecting that. This wallpaper is god ugly. I don't know what they're thinking with this. Ew, and it goes like underneath the stairs and everything. Look at this stair just cutting right through the window. They just do not care about stuff like this. This stuff bothers me to no end when I'm building for myself, but I guess we can't hold everyone to our high standards, right? Well, I guess I do with this series. Going upstairs, we have no balustrade, so this is dangerous as heck. Another green tiled bathroom, my goodness. Why is the wall baby poo and then the trim green, like a jade green? Ugh, these colors. This bedroom is gorgeous. I love this, except the curtain is not really over windows. I guess it's supposed to be draped over the bed. That's fine, but I don't know. They use the same baby poo for this bathroom too, and no balustrade here. So the mirror actually has the same problems and the same mistakes. So once again, I think they just kind of like copied and pasted it in some way, because the windows and everything are identical, and I just don't see EA like copying it perfectly if they did it manually, because especially if you were copying it, you would see some of these problems. I think, I don't know. Oh, once again, they blew the inside when the outside was starting off nice and strong. This shell may be stronger than the last one, but like 4 baby poo bathrooms, like I don't know what you want me to say. It's just so unsettling. Like, why does EA do this to us? We get these pretty shells and these horrible insides once again. I will say this is a little bit stronger than the previous house, so why don't we give it a 6.5? My goodness, we're getting no high scores in this world. It's not going too well, but we're only about halfway through, so there's probably a few more surprises left in store. Next up is the Maple Tree House. Now, I know I'm a hater of green, but I don't hate all greens. It's just specifically baby poo shades, and mostly in bathrooms, because I've seen like 2 green bathrooms in my life. I love this jade fence. I think it goes really well with the outside color palette. This is not a brown that I would choose myself, but I think it goes really well with this build. I like the roof color with it. I like the siding down here. And again, like I said, I like the fence and the landscaping. This is also rare where this house kind of looks good no matter which angle you look at it from. So from back here, it looks nice. I chose to look at it from over here at the beginning because the sun's hitting it better, but I don't really even know which is the front door, which I guess is fine. The windows are pretty good. The roof, it's a little tall, I guess, and a little too pagoda-y, like a little too swoop. But you know what? We're in Shang Simla, so let's go for it. Okay, I'm interested. Let's see what's inside. The largest green bathroom ever, but I don't see any shades of baby poo, which is fine. This rug is a little bit out of place, but at least they have a bathroom mat for once. This ugly rug, like, why do they keep using this one? And with this texture, are they, like, they pick one ugly thing and they just keep copying it. God, the texture's on this runner too. Another kitchen with the fridge and stove next to each other and a bathroom sink. Well done, EA. It's actually kind of a nice floor plan too. Like, the floor plans are a little bit more impressive, but they're just making ugly color choices. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna take back that statement. This is the nicest color palette that I've seen. I don't love all of the textures. There's a few too many of them, but it's not overbearing. There's not a weird ugly color just kind of thrown around. I wish this bathroom were a little bit smaller though. But this bedroom is kind of cute. I would face the beds facing the door though. That's like a little bit of a nitpicky thing. And this bedroom's all right. I guess it's got a little bit of the Chinese aesthetic. I don't know though, right? Like it's not really my forte, but I do love the bed. I do like the wallpaper. I just wish there was a few less textures kind of thrown about the room. Okay, I think so far this is the best and the strongest house that we've seen. I like the shape. I like the windows. I even like the roof. The inside, the floor plan is pretty good. A few ugly colors, but again, this is EA, so like we're expecting that. But they actually made a few good choices in this one. I think definitely better choices than any of the other houses so far, but it's not great. It's not perfect, and I'm still expecting more. I'm gonna give this one an 8. This thing got an 8. My goodness, the bar is set so low for the vacation worlds in general. But as we've said before, these are the occupied houses, not the ones you're meant to move into. So we're pretty lucky that they put any effort into these whatsoever, quite frankly. Next up is the Narcissus House. Oh, this house is perfect for somebody who's perfect like me, my goodness. Okay, looking at the windows, this is a little bit overbearing, but it's in that kind of EA style that I like when they just go crazy with the windows and you just have to accept it for what it is. My goodness, look at how these line up. They try in some places, but they fail in others. Maybe they tried through the whole thing. I shouldn't be so mean. Actually, I should be so mean. These are absolutely atrocious, but this is kind of EA's fun ugly. I do like the courtyard again. They're really good at the landscaping. Like I feel like every EA developer like knows how to do landscaping and a shell, and that's about it. Actually, sometimes they don't know how to do shells either, but this fence, this is a little bit more of like a USA backyard fence. I don't know if they have these in China. I think they had some better options in the build catalog, but yeah, not too bad. Pagoda roofs covered in bamboo. I guess it's as Chinese as EA is going to be able to do, so let's jump inside. Okay, so we have some interesting colors. I don't love all of them. We all know I'm going to hate this shade of green and this shade of yellow on the sheets, but overall, at least they were going for something. This is a little bit rainbowy. I think I see one of each color. Let's just start on this side. Okay, so we have a red carpeted bathroom. I have not seen a carpeted bathroom since The Sims 2 Stranger Town in base game. And not only that, they chose to pair it with this ugly brown tile. My goodness, well done, EA. Let's look at this ugly bedroom. Oh my God, it's white leopard print. So snow leopard print with brown dressers, a gray modern bed, and yellow sheets, and these horrifically yellow lamps. My goodness. Inside the living room, we have the same carpet as the bathroom, just turned into an ugly green diagonal living room, just like EA loves to do. Ooh, and a diagonal desk. Well done. The dining room makes no sense. Like this table has nothing to do with these chairs and neither have anything to do with China. Plus you have a green and yellow wall for no reason. The kitchen is actually great except for the bathroom sink. Wait, is there a garbage can? There is. Well done. Oh no, another carpeted red bedroom. I can't believe they did this twice. Again, I just think they're copying things. Oh my God, let's just go upstairs. Oh, thank God. So this bathroom does not have a red carpet for once. It has an ugly brown tile, but it's certainly the strongest bathroom in this house. Why are there so many bedrooms? There's like, okay, 1, 2, 3. There's like 8 places to sleep. I can see them all from here. I don't know if this is an 8 sim house. I don't know if it should be. Oh, what I will point out is I kind of like this wallpaper here, like over the stairs, but they didn't do it through the whole room. I don't know if they should have, but I don't really like what's next to it, so I would have just went for it. And the final thing I'll note is this baby poo bedroom. Like, it's just the whole thing. Okay, let's just go back outside and see what we liked at the beginning. I like the shell. It's kind of dynamic. The inside is all over the place. I don't know if I can forgive carpeted bathrooms. That's kind of gross. But the shell is nice. I like the columns. The fences are kind of dynamic. The courtyard is nice. The windows are all over the place too. Oh, I don't know. I feel so conflicted with these builds. I don't know. I'm gonna give this one a 5. It could have been at the 6 or 7 mark, but we had the carpeted bathrooms. It's too big. There's too many beds. The colors are all over the place. But again, I like when they try something and they just go too far. This was about 45 colors too far. I would have went with, you know, 3. Next up is the Orchid House. Once again, it's getting a little bit dark, so we're gonna have to have Sally go sleep in her lodge or whatever, but we can get one more house in. Looking at this, I kind of like the shell. It's a little bit of an interesting shape because it kind of marries like a traditional Sim style house with the Chinese style as well. I like the low pagoda roof. The windows are actually pretty balanced and symmetrical for once. The door at the front here isn't, but you know what can you do? At least the door below it is centered. That's actually not too bad. Just having a little bit off. Sometimes it's nice to make the eye dance a little bit. Like you don't want everything to be perfectly symmetrical. You just want it balanced. Not a lot of landscaping, but I like how they decorated the porches and stuff. Ooh, looking at like the sun hitting the color here, this is not a bad brown. It's again, not a brown that I would choose, but I like some of the things that they're doing. Okay, well, let's jump inside and see how much crap's in here. You know what? It's actually not awful. It just reminds me of a Sunset Valley house. You know, why is one chair a different color? That's kind of weird. Sorry, that was the first thing I noticed. But yeah, it's kind of like a Simsy suburban floor plan meets the Sims Sims 3 Sunset Valley, which is, I guess, fine for gameplay, not so good for realism in China. I should do a count. Like, how many kitchens in The Sims 3 have a bathroom sink instead of a kitchen sink? And somebody commented that, like, just because it's a single sink doesn't mean it's a bathroom sink. Yes, look at these faucets. I'm focusing more on the faucets. So this is not for a kitchen. This is for a bathroom, right? I can deal with a single sink or like a circle sink if it had like a nozzle for dishes or whatever, or a higher faucet. This is just not for washing dishes. You know, it's for washing your face. Anyway, rant over. Let's go back upstairs. It's a little bit empty. Ew, a baby poo floor. Is this a carpet too? My goodness, it might be wood. We'll give it a benefit of the doubt, I guess. But of course we have a brown tiled wall as well. At least it's kind of cohesive. I don't hate these woods kind of like popping out a little bit because they're a little bit more on the red side, and everything else is really plain and beige and brown. But you know me, I like color. I like splashes of color. Even if it's absolutely hideous, just go all out. This is not going far enough. But I will say that it is probably the best floor plan that we've seen, the most playable house. Not that you can play in these houses anyway. And the outside is very pleasant. It would be nice to drive by. You know what? This one didn't have as many ugly choices. I'm gonna give this one a 7. The Orchid House got a 7. I love orchids, and I would have given this house an 8 had they included one in the build, but too bad, so sad. EA blew it once again. Next up is the Peach Blossom House. This is stunning. This is my favorite shell so far, absolutely. I love the dragon wood details, love the windowing, love the arches, love the landscaping, I love the shape. I even like the roof. Well done. This is what I mean, just make them a little bit lower and the whole thing will come together a little bit better. Even if it's not as realistic, there's certain things you have to do in The Sims to make it not look ugly, if you know what I mean. Now that being said, the windows and stuff are not centered, but it's fine because everything else is going really well. You don't need perfectly symmetric windows. They have things symmetrical in the places that count. And I think it's really well balanced, and the morning sun is hitting it beautifully. Well done. Okay, let's peek inside. I'm terrified. Okay, let's just start from one end and work our way to the other. We have a classic EA dining room with absolutely nothing except the table and chairs. We have a basic kitchen. It's all right. I don't know about the tiles. It's a little bit interesting. They're kind of made of wood too, which is a nice change. It almost looks like terracotta, but when you get close, you see it's not. This I believe to be a bathroom sink, in my opinion. Don't like that. Oh, look at this white bathroom, very bright all of a sudden. But you know what? A nice surprise for me. Are Chinese bathrooms white? Someone let me know. I just think it's easier to make a white bathroom in The Sims in general. Again, we have the fan and flowers wallpaper because it's China. Going into this bathroom, at least we have another white bathroom. I'm enjoying these. This one's got a black wall, I think. It almost looks like a little bit red. I'm not sure. I'm not going to delve too much into it. Going into this bedroom, I really like this. I love this jade marble top to this nightstand. Anyone who has a jade marble tabletop obviously has amazing taste. It's literally the same texture as mine. I love it. And as we progress through 2 empty hallways, oh my God, this isn't even a hallway. This is a bedroom. Look at how empty this is. My goodness. And the floor just randomly changes direction halfway through. I think initially they had this as 2 separate rooms. They just decided, screw it, we'll make it one big one. This bathroom does not have enough light. This living room, oh, actually, you know what? Nothing in here really has enough light. See, the problem with this side of the house is they don't use enough light. There's one wall light here, one wall light over here, and one table lamp, and it's for like 55 tiles. It's too much. These sofas do not face each other. What are these plants next to it? See, this just looks like at the end of the build, they just started putting things down. And once again, a dragon wallpaper, so we know it's China, right? I'm glad that they didn't overuse that. I've seen it a couple times, but it's not like I've seen it in every build and they're not like, ooh, look, there's dragons and fans all over the place, so it's China. I'm glad they didn't really do that. It's more of like a nice stylistic touch. However, they're kind of just using the same colors over and over again. I'd be switching it up and making it a little bit more dynamic. Okay, the inside kind of reminds me of France. Actually, this whole build reminds me of France because the outside is completely stunning and the inside is an empty disaster. But this is absolutely the best shell. I think it's stunning and exquisite until we looked inside. And I don't really know where I'm putting the points, even though we're almost done this world. But you know what? I have to give this one some credit. I love the outside. I would just renovate nearly everything inside. I'm gonna give this one an 8. An 8. That's like the highest score we've given to. It's not looking good for Shang Simla. I'm sorry. And I bet there's lots of details that I'm missing that have nothing to do with China. So I'm excited to see what you guys have to say about these. Next up is the Pomegranate House, and it's covered in willow trees, which is usually when EA is trying to hide something that they're ashamed of. So let's take a close look. I actually don't mind the shell. It's a little bit dynamic. I like how the roof kind of overhangs to the balcony. It keeps it simple, but still gives it like a little bit of a nice touch. The windows are all right. I didn't mention mention it yet, but I kind of like these doors with like the extremely gaudy handles. They're almost like, I don't know if they're like dragon faces or lion faces or no face at all. I can't really tell. It's just The Sims 3, but I do like them. Like they're very kind of like palacey, you know? The windows are an absolute mess, but it's an EA house. What do you expect? The wood though, it's not really my favorite type of color. I wish they used like a little bit more color in the outside. Similar to Egypt, I would appreciate like maybe a splash of red, even a splash of like blue or white or something, just to give it some contrast. But it's not too bad. And I don't mind the green for the statues because it kind of looks like an old ancient Chinese statue that you'd see in like a museum or something, right? Okay, let's jump inside. Ugh, look at this yellow or green living room. It's kind of like fluorescent baby poo, and it's got this orange living room set that I am not feeling. Yeah, and looking around, like if you wanted to make one of the rooms this color, I would not have picked the living room. I don't think it goes well with the black either. I've been hoping for black, but not with that color. Going in here, we have a suburban IKEA-ish dining set for some reason. We have this Argyle wallpaper. Argyle wallpaper in China. I don't know how I feel about that. Another bathroom sink, a blue oven for some reason. And I've also noticed that they're using this window for all of the kitchens, and it's not good for it because see how the counters are just a little bit too tall and they clip in? They tried to use the stove that doesn't clip in, but even this window does it. A jade green bathroom. That's probably the best green bathroom I've seen in this world. Okay, let's go upstairs. They love this brown tile for the bathroom. Like they've used this swatch like maybe no less than 5 times in this world. My goodness. What I do like is that these rooms are a little bit smaller, but they're too small. Why is the double bed in the smallest bedroom? That's too much. They use this green wallpaper again. I don't like it. The only detail I like is the tiles that they used for like the entryway to the balcony, and I think they're the best colors. It just looks awful in the rest of the colors with the room. The baby room is kind of big. I like the baby room, but as we've known in World Adventures, you can't actually have a baby. Like they kind of grow up to children, right? Now, one thing to note, somebody told me that in World Adventures, like in the World Adventures vacation worlds, there are no babies or toddlers. They just grow right into children. So having a crib is a little bit unusual, I think. But this baby room is kind of pretty. I don't hate it. Oh, look, in this bedroom, we have the same red carpet that they used in the last house's bathroom. My goodness. And nothing says EA, like 2 windows right on the corner. Okay, another weird inside. I don't really know what to say. I don't hate the shape. It's not as fun or dynamic as some of the other ones that we've seen. This is definitely in the weaker half of the builds. I'm not really sure why they're repeating the choices that they're repeating. The certain things that I've hated, like that green wallpaper, like that red rug, they're showing up absolutely everywhere. They're just repeating over and over again. And the new things I've seen, like that Argyle wallpaper, are just not for me. This might be one of the worst overall. I don't know. I'm gonna give this one a 4. I haven't really given too many low scores yet because nothing's really been that empty or that undecorated. They've been decorated, just not in a way that I'm really used to. But we still have one more, so hopefully it's something good, please. And last but not least is the Rose House. Okay, I feel a little bit better. I really like the color palette and I really like the shell. I think like the front bump out here with the extra roof, it's a little bit much and a little bit EA, but it's not too bad. I like the windows. I like the green kind of on the window color. It's almost like a teal and it goes really well with the shade of red that they picked for the doors. I like the symmetry. There's hardly any landscaping, which is fine because usually when they do the landscaping, it's to cover up something ugly. So maybe they actually did a good job on this one. I also noticed the chopped down trees in the back. It's almost like they chopped them down to be like, hey, look, I made a not ugly house, look. But you know what? I don't know. We'll have to see what the inside looks like. Once again, very dynamic shell, and they've used multiple different kinds of pagoda roof pieces to actually make something interesting. And they used a normal hip roof on the edges here. I think it would have been a little too much if they did like 3 pagoda roofs, if you know what I mean. Okay, so far so good. This might be like 8 or 9 if they don't screw up the inside. So let's see. Look at this wallpaper. It's like Sunset Valley 101. Not really my favorite. Actually, this whole living room is Sunset Valley 101. Oh my God, look at the kitchen. It's even worse. Why does it have the same wallpaper? The fridge and the stove are right next to each other. The dining table squished in. Oh, look, he's trying to block it, but he's using a bathroom sink to do the dishes as usual. A black and white checkered bathroom. We saw a lot of these in France. My goodness. See, like the thing is that I don't think the whole thing is ugly. It's certainly not as ugly as some of the other builds. It's just that the whole thing has that Sunset Valley mixed matched colors and textures that don't make any sense. They don't make sense for the area, they don't make sense for the sim, and they don't make sense for the build. I mean, if someone can show me a picture of a Chinese house with this wallpaper, I will stand corrected, but for now, this is my opinion, so let's go upstairs. Okay, this is a much nicer green. I know it's very similar to the green wallpaper that I've been hating on, but it is more of that jade. Like, it's just a little bit darker. Actually, the carpet here, like the runner, that's a little bit even much more of a better green. The bedroom's a little squished, but it's better than being too big. I don't hate it. It just has nothing in it. This bedroom has nothing in it either. They're like the same. It's like an IKEA bed with a red comforter and like the same brown dresser. Why are there so many bathrooms? There's 3 kind of big-ish bathrooms in this house. I don't think they needed that many, but again, I like where they put them. I like how there's one on this side, one on this side, and one in the middle at the top of the stairs. So at least it's a little bit convenient. But yeah, good floor plan. The color palette upstairs is all right. Downstairs is a bit of a disaster, but this shell is still really pretty, and I don't dislike any of the choices that they really made out here. I might have added a little bit of landscaping. I'll change a few colors and maybe like a layout thing or two on the inside, but this might be the strongest house we have in Shang Simla. I'm glad we have the best for laughs, but it still isn't great. And you know what? Like, I always do my rankings kind of on a scale, but I don't think this even breaks 9 territory. I think I have to cap it at an 8. Nothing gave me that tingle. Nothing gave me that like excitement that I get from some builds, you know? And like for China, like China has such a bright, colorful, decorative, distinctive style. So I was really hoping for something that blew me away. Unfortunately, we didn't see it. Maybe we'll see something in the unoccupied houses in season 2, but for now, Shang Simla's a bit of a dud. Sorry. Well, that does it for Shang Simla China and therefore World Adventures. What did you guys think? I was not impressed. In terms of like all of the worlds, I think Egypt is my favorite world still. Looking at China, it probably has the second best world, but the worst builds. I even preferred France because the outsides were so pretty and they were like something nice that you could drive by. Some of these were just monstrosities with a pagoda roof, which is what I expected from EA. But overall, like I said, I'm not sure if these really represent like what China means. I was just going with my own aesthetic and color choices. But as always, let me know in the comment section down below anything that like you've noticed or any inaccuracies or anything that I might have mixed up. But yeah, that pretty much does it. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you so much to my members for making this episode possible. You guys are the best. I really hope you all enjoyed the video. If you did, give this video a like and don't forget to subscribe for some more Sims content. So we're done with World Adventures, and the next poll says we have to do the University World. So I guess we'll be going to Sims University. I'm really not familiar with that world at all. I've only played it a couple times, so it'll all be new to me. And yeah, like always, just head over to my community tab so you can vote on which world you want to see next. Boom.